And Liam approves.
He is excited, and my daughter calls the macarons mommy cookies.
Oh.
And he wants one apparently right now.
Oh, yeah?
I will say he has not had one yet. I think he's had a little bit of buttercream.
Welcome to the Peachtree Podcast. Peachtree Learning Center is a nonprofit in Middle Tennessee dedicated to training and discipling students in all the fine arts to become excellent and skilled in order to spread the kingdom of God into the world of the arts. On this podcast, we will discuss topics designed to encourage, uplift, educate, and equip people to proclaim the kingdom more deeply in their own families and communities.
So welcome back to Peachtree's podcast. Hopefully you've been here before, but if you haven't, this is a sweet, short podcast of encouragement and interviews with fun people in our community. And we hope this blesses you and your family as you walk out God's calling on your family. Today, we get to have a fun visit with a sweet friend, Kirsten Cooper, who's here with the French Cookie of Cookeville. She started that company, and I wanted her to share her origin story. And she's also brought her baby Liam, so you might hear a little commentary from the side. But welcome, Kirsten. Thank you for coming and joining us today.
Hey, Tabitha. Thanks for having me.
I'm very excited to hear your story. I heard you talk a lot about it a couple years ago, and it really stuck with me as a powerful testimony. And so this is a great platform for you to get to share that. And I'd love to hear you just kind of start with where you were before you started making macarons. What was going on?
Yeah, so I will give a little background about me. So I am from St. Louis, and in 2016, I came to Tech to play volleyball. So I went to Tech, and then I graduated in 2019. And so when I graduated with a major in housing and design, well, human ecology, concentration, housing and design, and a minor in business, which that obviously, I guess, worked out.
And played a little volleyball.
And I played volleyball at Tech. So, and then once I graduated, me and my husband, we met in college, and so we got married in college also. We got married between my junior and senior year. And so I was married for my senior year of volleyball and college and all that fun stuff. And then I graduated in 2019, and then I started working for an architecture firm right after. I had an internship at an architecture firm, and then I started working there right after I graduated. So... And while I was working at the architecture firm, I just wanted a little fun thing to do on the side. And so I started dabbling in, I actually started, my business in the beginning was called KB's Kitchen.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you knew that or not.
I did not know that.
And I started out making cinnamon rolls. And I still have people ask me all the time
if I'll bring the cinnamon rolls back. And I thought it'd be fun maybe one day in the store, just like have a day of cinnamon rolls. Throwback.
And then when I go camping, my family's always like, well, now that you started the macarons, you're not going to be making cinnamon rolls anymore. And I have not really made them since. But anyways, so my husband and I, after I graduated, we decided we wanted to start trying for a little baby. And so we had some problems, and I ended up having surgery to hopefully figure out the reason why we were not having a baby yet. And so I had surgery, endometriosis surgery, all that fun stuff. And while I was recovering from that, I was just sitting on the couch on YouTube, and I saw someone start doing macarons. Mm-hmm. And I kind of became obsessed. I thought it would be a little fun thing to do while I was recovering and not at work and all that stuff. And because I was already doing cinnamon rolls, and I thought, what's just adding macarons to the menu?
Sure.
And then Lord knows why Cookeville needs macarons. It just took off, and it's just been crazy. I remember the first time I made them, and they're hard to make. Mm-hmm. It was an absolute disaster. My husband will tell this story about I would wake up at 4 a.m. to make a batch of macarons before going to work. And I was making some black ones for something. I don't remember what. And they didn't work. They exploded. It was awful. And I was so upset. And so you bake macarons on a little Silpat.
Right.
And I just frisbeed it across the kitchen, and he just came in and just started sweeping them up, and he just likes to tell that story. But anyways, and so
it wasn't without its trial and error.
oh
man,
saying. Yes, I've made hundreds, and we still make ones. Like just yesterday, I was in the kitchen and we had ones that just didn't work out, and I threw them out, and they're just, even though I've been doing this for 3 years, we still like. It's never perfect, ever. Yeah. And we try our very best. And I would say 95% of the time we can do it. We have it down, but every now and then we'll have a batch. But anyways, and I remember the first time I think I made $50 in a week on macarons. And I called my mom. And I was like, Mom, I just made $50 on macarons. And it's just like little sweet things like that. But fast forward. Whenever I started, like the macaron business started picking up a little bit, and then we ended up getting pregnant in January of 2020, and then we had our daughter Kendall in October 30th, actually, almost a Halloween baby. I was like, I'm not having this baby on Halloween, and then whenever it was just started picking up, so we decided that I would stay home with her, and it just continued to grow. We ended up selling our house and built a commercial kitchen at our current house. And so we worked out of that. It was a licensed commercial kitchen through the health department. It had freezers, 3-compartment sink, hand sinks, mixers, tables, chairs, all that fun stuff. And we have been working out of that for 1.5 years up until 2 weeks ago.
And now you're in a whole storefront, beautiful storefront downtown, right in the middle of town.
Yes.
It's been really sweet. I met you I think about the time you were having your baby, about the time you had Kendall, I think is when I first met you. And I don't remember why, but I remember getting to hear your story just a few months later.
Yeah.
I think I ordered some macarons.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand. I'll just share this. I didn't understand the difference between a real macaron and the kind that you buy at the store until I had yours. And then it was like, oh, this is why people come back for these over and over again. They're just amazingly, the texture is just totally different from a commercially made product. So it's been fun to share them. We've taken them to events that we've helped with. And I had a friend of mine who'd been to been to France a couple of times, come up to me going, where did you get these? I need to know where this person lives because these are the real thing. And I said, yeah, this is the real deal. So it's a really beautiful space.
Everyone has I have people say, I know where you live all the time because that's where people pick up cookies.
Right. Yep.
I'm like, maybe we should move. Maybe we should move sometime.
Well, it's really sweet. It's been sweet to watch that. And I also loved your testimony about how God grew the business and has provided you a way to actually have an income that blesses your family, but you still have your family with you. Oh, and I love watching you tote them with you. And, you sit and feed the baby in the middle of the renovations. When we were there a few months ago, he was teeny, and you were feeding him away in the middle of all the stuff going on. And then now you get to sit in this beautifully furnished space it's just a gorgeous building. You've done such a beautiful job with it. You get to sit there and nurse him again, and it's just a whole circle of look what God did. Yeah, what a faithful.
It's been crazy to see God's hand in everything because there's been, like we were just talking about before, there's been so many full circle moments that I've had. And I mean, I started this business so I could stay home with my babies. And that was like, we've been talking about doing a store for about 1 year now. And, but that was one of the things is, will I be able to still stay home with my babies? Because that's, I mean, at the end of the day, like they're number one. They will always be, no matter what. I mean, they are how we just show love to people. And I mean, macarons, I mean, macarons are cookies, but it's more than that. The business is more than that to me.
It is.
And it's nap time for him. And I just love that this business is something that we can love on people, and then also, I mean, give them a great product that we love and handmade, and it's been in the process for 3 years, and it's just something cool that I also want my babies to see how we've been faithful, how God has blessed us. And my husband and I talk all the time. We don't know why God has blessed us like so much in this way, but we just hope and pray that we glorify him in the whole business and how we go about using our finances and how we treat our employees and just everything.
Yeah, I feel it when I walk in. I loved walking in the day y'all opened and seeing the space for the first time completely finished, and knowing you could just sense that there's a piece there that it's his piece that's just in the space. And I know you've prayed over that building a lot, and you can tell his presence is there. So we've definitely seen a variety of people in there when we've been there, and yet everybody seems very happy and content. And it's just wonderful to watch him work like that and build something like that in the middle of town. And I love that you're bringing your children. That was one thing I wanted to speak about on the podcast from time to time, is share stories of people who have found a way, especially women, who found a way to have that family interaction that they want to have, but also be able to have a business or be able to raise an income if they need to and help their family out. And Liam approves.
He is excited, and my daughter calls the macarons mommy cookies.
Oh.
And he wants one apparently right now.
Oh, yeah.
I will say he has not had one yet. I think he's had a little bit of buttercream. I was in the store the other day and I looked at his foot, and he had birthday cake frosting between his toes somehow.
Oh, no.
So I don't know.
A dollop dropped on his foot.
I don't know how that happened, but that's how my babies grow up.
I think it's great. I love it. I always love seeing people pack their children into whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
It was an odd thing back when I was first starting staying home, but I still had work to do. And
yeah.
I felt very alone in that. I took my children everywhere with me, and I got lots of questions and lots of strange comments, but they learned to live life that way. They learned to live life the way we did, and that was just
the world sees babies as a burden and children as a burden, and they're not that way at all. And so, and that's what we talk about all the time, is that our babies are such a blessing, and why, I mean, yeah, things might be harder, but you grow in that way. Yes. And it's, at the end of the day, one day our kids will see what we've created, and that they have been the priority, like every step of the way. And it also just shows them their value, and that we value them more than something we've created.
Exactly.
Some business.
Yeah, they're the most important thing you have created. Yeah. It's pretty artificial in the course of history. You look back before the Industrial Revolution, maybe 150, 200 years ago, and everybody's family always lived together and did life together. And it's just kind of strange in the course of 6,000 or 8,000 years of recorded history how suddenly this last 150 years we've decided it's not supposed to be the way it was for all those years, that we have to separate them and put them in their own spaces, doing their own thing. It's a very artificial way to live. So I love seeing people come back and do it a historical way, but the way it was historically done. And I love watching children grow up in that too. It's really sweet to see.
Whether it's on a podcast crying or yelling at you.
Or learning to make cookies. Are you going to learn to make macarons too? You like macarons? Yeah. He's going to learn to eat them first, and then we'll see.
He's taking pictures of himself on my phone right now. It's fine.
That's great. Well, thank you for sharing your story. I'm so glad you came in and talked.
Yeah,
it's been good. I know it'll be encouraging to people out there who aren't sure what to do. I know there's a lot of people just in our realm who would love to homeschool or would love to have more time with their children, but are scared to quit their job, or scared, especially moms, scared to go down to one income. And yet I see so many entrepreneurial moments popping up too. And people learning how to just find something to do from home or take children with them to do whatever it is they need to do. And it's very encouraging to see, especially women and men supporting, like dads wanting that too.
I was just about to say, my
husband, the whole thing.
I mean, he wouldn't, if he jokes all the time. He says, I am the French cookie. Like, he says he's the French cookie. And I'm just like, yeah, I just make babies and cookies. Like, I don't know. But no, there's no way it would be where it is right now without him.
No, it's a partnership.
100%.
Absolutely.
And like that is how the Lord has, that was the plan too.
Yes.
And so it's just really cool to, I don't know, just have a biblical relationship to where my husband supports me. And then I also, support him too in every other aspect.
Well, you work together on every facet.
We're a team. And he is a great teammate. Yes, you could say.
That makes it really sweet. And if you notice Kirsten's voice coming back and forth, she's kind of rocking back and forth with her baby on her lap. So her voice will come in and out a little bit, and that's okay.
Sorry.
No, I think it's great. I love it. I'm so glad you brought him. I was so afraid you were going to try to find somebody to keep him, and it wasn't worth that. This is a pretty quick and easy thing to do. So that's really the main thing I wanted to hear. I wanted to get that recorded so people could hear your story. So thank you for coming in and sharing.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you did. And that'll be it for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Big thanks, as always, to Coy Howell, who's our sound engineer and always sets up wherever I ask him in the middle of whatever strange circumstances and just does it with a smile on his face. So thank you to Coy, always doing sound for us. And thank you to Liam for being here as a special guest. And we hope your day is a blessed day.
Thank you so much for joining us today. To support this podcast, please go follow us on your podcast platform of choice. And if you're interested in knowing more about the work of Peachtree, please go visit our website at peachtreelearningcenter.com for more information.